Hello, welcome to ThriveGroups. We're so glad to have you here with us this week as we continue our series, Prepare the Way, and we continue our 21-day fast. I hope you're doing well with that. This time is when we're preparing our hearts for Easter. And this week we talked about clearing the house. My wife, Carrie, actually talked about Zacchaeus, and we're going to jump into that in just a moment. But before we do, we want to remind you of our ground rules. First, we want to encourage everyone to participate and no one to dominate. Also, that we start on time and we end on time. With that, we're going to jump right in. What is your favorite form of transportation? For me, I'd have to say it's flying, and specifically in like a small single engine airplane. Love it. Don't get to do it very often. I have a good friend of mine who's a pilot, and he brings me occasionally. And I love getting to do that. But even if I'm traveling somewhere, flying always my preferred way to go. What about you? What's your preferred form of transportation? Okay, we're going to read a couple verses. This is the story of Zacchaeus, and this comes from Luke 19. This is 1 through 10. It says, Jesus entered Jericho and made his way through the town. There was a man by the name of Zacchaeus, and he was the chief tax collector in the region, and he had become very rich. He tried to get a look at Jesus, but he was too short to see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree beside the road, for Jesus was going to pass that way. When Jesus came by, he looked up at Zacchaeus and called him by name. Zacchaeus, he said, quick, come down. I must be a guest in your home today. Zacchaeus quickly climbed down and took Jesus to his house in great excitement and joy, but the people were displeased. He has gone to be the guest of a notorious sinner, they grumbled. Meanwhile, Zacchaeus stood before the Lord and said, I will give half of my wealth to the poor. Lord, if I have cheated people on their taxes, I will give them back four times as much. Jesus responded, Salvation has come to this home today. For this man has shown himself to be a true son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and save those who are lost. So let's take a few moments and discuss what stood out to you in those verses. Next question is share about a time when you felt small. For me, a number of years ago, I got together with a group of pastors out in Colorado, had a great time hanging out together. But these pastors, they were big influencers. They had, lots of people that were coming to their church. They were in the Bible Belt. They had, doing all this great stuff, had books and all these things. And honestly, I kind of felt small in the middle of these great men, and I was kind of second guessing my own calling and even my own reasoning for being there included with this group. So it was kind of some insecurities, I guess, that I felt in my own life. But what about you? Have you ever felt small, maybe with a job, a relationship, a group of people, in any situation in life? Let's take a few moments and discuss that. Next question is share about a time when you received grace. For me, I was driving down the road and I came to a stop sign, and I kind of stopped, but I kind of stopped, slowed down, checked everything, and kind of rolled through the stop sign. Well, as you can imagine, there was a police right behind me, watched the whole thing, pulled me over straight away. And he's like, do you know why I'm pulling you over? And I didn't know why. I'm like, no, I really don't. He's like, you just blew that stop sign back there. I was like, well, I stopped. He's like, well, it's like your tires never stopped moving. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, I'm going to be merciful. I'm going to show you grace this time. Don't let it happen again. And so I received some grace, some mercy in that situation. How about you? Have you ever experienced something like that where you got some grace or some mercy extended to you? Next question is what can we do this week to show gratitude to God? Zacchaeus, he showed gratitude to God by paying back anybody that he had cheated, paying him back four times as much. What is it that we can do that we can show gratitude to God this coming week? Well, thank you so much for joining us for our Thrive group this week. We're so glad that you came to join us. Before we end, though, we're going to close in prayer. And so, this is an opportunity that you can share any prayer requests that you may have, anything that's going on in your life, and the group will pray together for you. So, you can do that. And then I want to encourage everyone in the group to pray. Say a few words, thanksgiving, asking for direction, wisdom, guidance, pray for one of the needs that's in the group. and the group leader will close it up. So thank you so much for joining this week. Let's close in prayer.